Hello, viewers, and welcome to the ACMS podcast. Today, we'll be talking about Luke 11 and also about the context, interpretation, and application of this chapter.
First, let's start with who wrote Luke 11. The disciple Luke wrote the book of Luke, which includes Luke 11. Luke was known as a doctor, and he carefully gathered information and details from people who had seen Jesus in his ministry. His goal was to create a true account of Jesus' life and his teachings, so that the reader could understand who Jesus was and what he came to earth to do.
Next, who was Luke written for? Luke was written for Gentile readers, and Gentiles were people who weren't Jewish. Luke wanted the readers to understand the message of Jesus and to know that salvation isn't only for a specific group of people, but for everyone. His writings helped explain Jesus' teachings in a way that people from different backgrounds could understand.
Now let's move on to what Luke 11 is about. Luke 11 teaches lots of important things, but one of the biggest lessons is the lesson on prayer and faith. At the start of Luke 11, Jesus' disciples asked Jesus to teach them how to pray. Jesus then gives them an example of prayer that people know today as the Lord's Prayer.
Jesus teaches that prayer is more than just saying words. Prayer is about having a relationship with God and trusting in Him. Jesus also encourages his followers to continue praying and not to give up. He explains that people should continue seeking and trusting that He hears them.
Later in Luke 11, Jesus does miracles which show His power and love for us. Though even after seeing these miracles, some people still didn't believe Jesus. Jesus answers by teaching that real faith is not just seeing miracles, but also believing and following God.
Towards the end of Luke 11, Jesus begins warning people about hypocrisy. Hypocrisy means acting one way on the outside while being different on the inside. Jesus criticized some religious leaders because they focus more on looking righteous and following rules publicly than actually having a sincere relationship with God. He wanted people to understand that God cares about what's in our hearts, not only about how we appear to others.
Next, let's talk about where Luke 11 took place. The location of Luke 11 is not specifically known, but lots of people believed it happened during Jesus' journey to Jerusalem. During this time, Jesus traveled from place to place teaching about God and performing miracles.
Next is when it was written. Luke was said to have been written around 58 to 62 AD. This was several years after Jesus' death and resurrection. Luke recorded these events in the future so that future readers could learn from them and have confidence in the message being shared.
Finally, let's discuss why Luke was written. Luke wrote his book to act as a spiritual and everyday guide for the readers. He wanted people to understand Jesus' lessons and grow their faith. His goal was to not only give information to people, but also to help people know how they should live and how to follow God.
Now for the interpretation and application. The interpretation of Luke 11 is that Jesus teaches people to pray sincerely, trust God, and avoid only living for outward appearances/looks. Faith should be genuine, sincere, and come from the heart.
The application for us today is that we can use these lessons from Jesus in our own lives. We can pray often, trust God even during hard times, and build a real relationship with Him. Instead of only trying to look like good people, we should focus on actually being good people and living in our faith honestly.
That wraps up this short podcast on Luke 11. Thank you for listening, and I hope this helped you understand the message and the importance of this chapter better. Have a blessed day, everyone.